What's up? I'm Jesse.
And I'm Josh.
And today we're going over movement prep, muscle ups, specifically ring muscle ups. And there's really two big pieces to the ring muscle up, right? There's the strength on both the pull and the push, and then there's the transition. So today we're going over a few different transition drills to get you going. The first one that I like is you want to start on your back, and you want to be able to be just fully extended in false grip with your back on the ground. So the first step is learning to unroll the hip or roll the hips, and then as I unroll the hips, I'm gonna pop. So I roll the hips up, and then I'm gonna do my little kick, pop, and I wanna finish kind of like I'm arched over a wheelbarrow in this big arch position. Once I hit that hip pop, then I'm gonna pull and then work on my transition, okay? So I unroll my hips, hip pop, catch myself in a nice tight dip position. You could work on your dip if you want, or you could just trace and fall back down and work on your transition that way. This is a really fun drill. Josh has got the next one.
All right, second one is we have some bands attached to some rings up on a pull-up bar, and this is really to work on some strength through that transition, specifically some strict strength. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sit on the ground right under these rings with my legs forward. I'm gonna grab the rings in some false grip, extend my arms, and I'm gonna pull down and I'm gonna lean back also to simulate that muscle up. And once I get to my chest, I'm gonna trace my pecs, right? So I'm gonna go underneath my pecs, put my body through, and then press down into the dip. And I'm gonna come back, slowly retrace my pecs into that false grip and let it come back up. And you can do this one for reps to really start strengthening that transition.
This is a really good one to do in a workout, right? So if you have a workout that has 20, 30 muscle ups in it, you could do maybe 40, 60 of these. Or you could, this is really scalable to make it harder, either use a thicker band or raise the band onto a higher bar, and then it's a lot harder. Make sure you're going controlled out of that eccentric portion like Josh did. Don't snap back up quickly, because if we build that strength on the eccentric, it's gonna help us to build more strength when we wanna do actual muscle ups. Okay, Josh has got the next one. It's a banded muscle up or a swing muscle up. And we've got the band attached to this rings. And then he's gonna thread the band through his fingers. And the more of the band is through the rings, the more it's gonna help. Here, come on, I'll do it. All right. Come in closer, man. So I'm gonna start with the band around my back. Then once it's around my back, I'm gonna thread it through these two fingers, okay? The more of the band that's threaded through, the tighter the band's gonna be, the more it's gonna help me. So once I have it threaded through those two fingers, then I make sure I'm in my false grip, so the meat of my hand's through, and then I grab down on the band. So now I'm in false grip with the band underneath my wrist. And since I'm pressing down the whole time, it's gonna stay and the band's not gonna pop out. Now I gotta jump my butt on the rings and then get in false grip on my left hand. And then I'm gonna come back to hollow body. So I wanna be bouncing, turn out, together. And then I can practice as I come through. So as I come through, I wanna work on pressing as I come through. What I don't want is I don't wanna come through and fall and catch myself. So I wanna be pressing up and through, and that's a really good drill this is for. So I can add more slack, or take out more slack and get a little bit tighter. And then I work on that press and catch at the same time. And again, you can work on your dip or not. Really, we're just using this one to work on the transition. Okay, another really good one. This is especially good for strict muscle ups. Or let's say you've got a problem with chicken winging. You might want to set up a strict banded muscle up. We just have these two carabiners attached to these straps. Really easy setup. And then it's really scalable, so you can use a thicker band, obviously, to add a little more support. You got to go false grip on this one, so make sure you're locked in your false grip. And then Josh is going to arch back on his pull, pulling to below his sternum, keeping his elbows tight. Now he's working on a little bit of a scaled, strict muscle up. And keep doing a couple more, Josh. Notice how he's gonna arch back on the pull, and then it's just a rotation, so he's arching back to here. Now his rings become the pivot point, so he rotates at that pivot point and gets to a muscle up. Okay? The last one that we're going to go over today is just partner assisted. So if you're really close to a muscle up and you're good at your arch, right? You're good at coming through your straight hollow, you're good at closing that shoulder angle, but you just need a little help with the transition, then I'm just going to be here on the side and I'm going to watch Josh's kip. And as he wants to come up, I just help and I lift him up a little bit. So I go one hand on the low back, one hand under the.
Oh, are we going again?
Yeah. So I thought you were gonna do a couple.
Oh, okay.
So do like 3. So go forward, back, go. Forward, back, go. Good. Back down. Forward, back. Sorry. Okay, stop. Most people are only doing singles, like Josh obviously do more than singles, but make sure you talk about the rhythm with your partner so you know when they're gonna go ahead and attempt their muscle up. Don't do what we just did. But that's a really great drill to work as long as you have a good partner and as long as you're strong enough to catch yourself in a stable ring get position.
Yeah. So practice those, become better movers for life in your muscles.
And we can become open ready.